Hi, and welcome to this week's blog post. My name is John Whitehead. I'm an executive and leadership coach. Thank you for joining me. This week, I want to continue my discussion about Tracom social styles and the 4 basic styles that are within that model. And again, I love this model because it's so easy, simple to use, easy to identify. First of all, your own personal communication and behavioral style, and then what others might be. And just very quickly, a quick review of the model. It's based on 2 dimensions, a horizontal dimension and a vertical dimension. The horizontal dimension is how assertive somebody is. Are they tell assertive or are they ask assertive? Do they like to tell people things when they talk to you or say things in an asking way? Also think of it in terms of, do they move fast or do they move slow? The second dimension is emotions. Do they show their emotions or do they hide their emotion? Do they control their emotion? Where they are on that scale, those 2 scales will decide 4 quadrants and what particular behavior communication style they may have. And again, these are their preferred styles. People communicate and behave on all 4 different styles, but there's one area where they feel most comfortable. We started off by talking about the expressive style, mostly because that's what I am, very tell-assertive. It's all about the relationship that I have with my experience, my expertise. I like to be the center of attention, and we use the bird as a peacock. So you think of a peacock, it's here I am, center of attention. Then we picked on the amiables. Amiables can be symbolized by a dove because they're about peacemaking, about team building, about interpersonal relationships. That's what's really important for them. The third model I want to talk about today, the third piece, is the analytical, which is, if you think of, they tend to be more assertive and they tend to be more controlling of their emotions. They can be described, analyticals can be described as serious. They can be described as exacting and logical, but they can also be described as indecisive, which is interesting when you think about it, because if analyticals are all about numbers and data, isn't that certainty? Well, that's the problem. One of the challenges that analyticals have is they need to be right. They really need to be right. So they keep collecting information and data. So one of the problems that they have is that they often can't make a decision because they don't think they have enough information. In fact, you've probably heard of the saying, the paralysis of analysis. They can't come to a decision. So one of the challenges if you're a leader in an organization and you have somebody who is an analytical working for you is putting timelines around tasks. So if you give them a task or you're giving them an assignment, you tell them, I need it by XYZ date. So you put boundaries around it so that they know that they have to have it completed by such and such date, or they'll keep going off collecting information. If you are an analytical yourself and you're in a leadership role, you have to one of the things you have to really recognize, because you're on the slower side of that assertiveness scale, is that you often have to speed up. You have to speed up. You have to talk a little faster. You have to be aware that people want decisions, and so you need to make those decisions for those people if you're in a leadership role. So their symbol, bird symbol, is an owl. So if you think about in our cultural context what an owl is seen as wise. They represent knowledge, don't they? And they represent information. So that's why I use the owl symbol for them. So that's the third dimension. So that's it for this week. Next week we'll cover off the 4th and final one, and then after that I'll do a wrapping up all the 4 styles and putting in a little bit more context around it.